Welcome back. I'm Paul. This is AM Wrap Tumbling, and today we're going to get started with a batch of Mexican Crazy Lace. All of this is already ran through coarse grit in our rotary tumblers, and we're going to get it started in the lotto tumbler for the rest of the stages. We'll run the medium, 500 grit, 1000 grit, and then polish. So everything's all kind of round down, and most of the flaws. There's a couple. There's some flaws left in this stuff because it has some things that are really tough to get rid of. But it's pretty well round down. Got a lot of cool designs in the Crazy Lace. Some really awesome banding going on in that stuff. That stuff, one of my favorites. So we're gonna get it going on medium grit here. We've got water in the barrel already. We'll get our rocks dumped in. And we'll put in some ceramics. All this ceramic just come out of polish, but when we're running medium stage, that's the coarsest thing that I use ceramic in, so there's no risk of cross-contamination of anything from another batch. A little bit too much water in there. Alright, everything in there. I've got water in the barrel, so everything's wet. I need some more ceramic, but we'll just add that on the tumbler. So we'll go ahead and get all the water dumped out. You want everything in the barrel to be wet, no standing water. And we'll get it set up on the tumbler and get it going on medium. We got some more ceramic loaded in there, and we'll see how it looks after it gets rolling a little bit. But we're going to get started on medium. I've got my medium stage. I break up into 2 steps. Not steps, but just 2 cycles. That way I can keep it running better. So we'll go for a day to a day and a half. We'll see how it goes with 1 tablespoon, and I'll dump it and wash it and do another 1 day to 1.5 days with 1 tablespoon. Our Crazy Lace ran for about 3 days in the medium grit, and I dumped them and washed them all up and put them back in the barrel, and we ran a little wash cycle with some borax, and we'll go ahead and get them rinsed off here, and we'll get ready to go to 500. Alright, everything's looking really nice. Got all the Crazy Lace bands going on. It's starting to look good. So I'll go ahead and wash them up a little better, and we'll clean the barrel up some more, and we'll get set up on the lotto, and we'll get going on the 500 grit. Everything's scrubbed up really good and clean, and we got it on the tumbler. We're going to do the 500 grit silicone carbide for 3 days. It will be a half a teaspoon of grit and a tablespoon of borax. Crazy Lace went for 3 days in the 500 grit silicon carbide, and I dumped it and washed everything and put it back in the barrel to run a little wash cycle with some borax that ran for a couple hours. Now we're ready to rinse them off, see how they're looking, and we'll get them going on 1000 grit. A lot of nice stuff in there. That Crazy Lace is nice. All the bands and patterns and everything looks really good. So I'll go ahead and scrub through those and get them cleaned up real well. Some of them have a few pits and holes and stuff in them that we couldn't get rid of, and we will get it ready to go to the 1000 grit. We'll set up in the tumbler here in a minute. All right, we're all washed up and ready to go. And I was just going to say that I've been using the 500 and 1000 grit silicon carbide just because when I went to get those grits, the place that I ordered them from that time had silicon carbide. Well, I've been always watching videos and trying to learn new stuff and see if there's anything I can do to improve my process or make my rocks look better. And I've seen a lot of things about people using 500 and 1000 aluminum oxide. And like when I use 500 silicon carbide, it's usually not shiny even after the 500, and not even really shiny after the 1000, but on 500 aluminum oxide, I've seen some things that they were already starting to shine. So I've got 500 aluminum oxide and 1000 aluminum oxide coming. So hopefully our next batch in the lotto will be able to try that out and see if we can see any difference in our shine. But we're going to go ahead and get going with the 1000 silicon carbide, and it'll be a half a teaspoon of the grit and a tablespoon of the borax, and we'll go for 3 days. Our Crazy Lace went for 3 days in the 1000 grit, and I dumped them and rinsed them all off and put them back in for a little wash cycle with the borax. So we'll take a look at them quick and we'll be ready to move on to polish. Everything's looking really nice. I'll go through them and scrub them up a little bit better and scrub the barrel up, and then we'll get set up on the lotto and get going on polish. All right, all the water's drained out. Everything's wet, back on the tumbler. I'm really excited to get these done because the Crazy Lace has got such unique patterns and bands on them. And it's been quite a while since I've tumbled some Crazy Lace. I've only done it one other time, and it's been a long time ago, so I'm pretty excited to have some more done. Take a closer look at all the patterns. So we're going to do a half a teaspoon of aluminum oxide polish and a tablespoon of borax, and it'll run for 3 days. crazy lace ran for 3 days in polish, and when it was all done running, I dumped it and rinsed it all off and put it back in the barrel with some borax. I did 1 tablespoon of borax, and it went for a couple of hours for a little wash cycle, and we'll dump it out and rinse it off and see how it's looked. All right, it's hard to tell anything when it's wet, but it all looks real good. I'll go ahead and clean it a little bit. On the last step with your polish, you want to wash it pretty closely to make sure you don't, if you have any cracks or holes, to try to get all the polish out of there, because when it dries, it really stands out if you have any of that white polish left in your cracks or holes or anything. So we'll go ahead and clean it up, and we'll let it dry off, and we'll take a closer look at it. All right, our Mexican Crazy Lace is all dried off, and it looks awesome. It took a really good shine, and there's a few flaws here and there, but with the Crazy Lace, it's just kind of a nature of the beast. And I know it drives me crazy when I'm tumbling and coarse grit, because you go for a long time, but even if you let a little flaw slide, it's got so much stuff going on that it's hard to even see it, so it doesn't really bother me so much on this stuff. I've been trying to do a little bit of research and find out some information about a lot of the stuff I've been tumbling lately, and I thought maybe I'd try to share some of it with you on our reveals of our polished rocks here. And with the Mexican Crazy Lace, it's said it's believed to have formed in Cretaceous periods, roughly 65 to 90 million years ago. It is a banded chalcedony or microcrystalline quartz mineral infused with iron and aluminum, and it is predominantly found in northern parts of Mexico. And on the Mohs hardness scale, it's a 6.5 to a 7. So that's a few little bits of information about the Crazy Lace. So I'll go ahead and move the camera over here so it'll focus a little better, and we'll take a closer look at some of them. Let's see here. All right, I'll see if I can dig out some of my favorites here. Some of these just have some awesome bands. I'll probably try to get a few pictures of some of them at the end. We'll tag them on the end of the video. Let's see here. You can see like that one. That crack right there you actually can't feel. And actually you can't even, you can see a little bit of stuff right here, but the crack that you can see right there, you can't even see it in the reflection. And they did take a really nice shine. They look pretty nice. And some of these, I mean, I could literally, some rocks, like if you have a big pile of red jasper or something, they pretty well all look alike. They're just different shapes. But with this stuff, I mean, you could literally almost look at every one, because every one is unique. And I think that's my favorite part of the Crazy Lace, is no two are alike. I've tumbled some a long time ago, and I really did like it. And I do like that stuff, but I forgot how much I liked it until you actually start tumbling it and looking at it and all that stuff. It's just ridiculous, all the, one might say crazy, all the stuff going on inside that. Just hard to even wrap your mind around how that is even formed. All the different colors and patterns. And there's a few holes like that. I might have to clean a little bit more grit out of there, it looks like, but it's a little quartz pocket that's going on in there. Some of them are a lot of white. Ooh, this is one of my favorites. Some of these like this, that have all the red going on, I really like those. And I probably could have tumbled it a while longer to get rid of that flaw right there, but I just really like the pattern. And a lot of them are pretty small to begin with on this stuff that I'd gotten. They were a little bit smaller than I wanted, but I also didn't want to have to cut a bunch of them up. I just wanted to be able to get them and throw them in the barrel. So it worked out well for that. So we'll take a look at a few more of them here, and then I'll go ahead and get some pictures and put a little slideshow together at the end of some of my favorites. Like this one, you can see the quartz on the top there, and then your bands, and then whatever that red material is. It almost looks like carnelian or something, but I'm sure it's just agate with some staining. Here's another one of the darker red ones. Just awesome. All right, there's another one. I've got a few of them that have this pattern and color to them, and I think that those are pretty awesome as well. Here's another one with those colors. And let's see. I got someone singing in the background. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but that's just wild. Well, like I say, I could probably look at every one of them. So I'll just go ahead and take pictures of a few of them. So if you want to take a closer look at them, you can pause it. Ooh, that one's got a little crystal vug in it. Isn't that crazy how it has that square almost as it builds the layers, and then it didn't quite fill in and you got some crystals in there. There you can see a little bit of the shine on them if I get them just right. Might use a little bit of cleaning out yet, but sometimes it's hard to even comprehend how that is formed. For me, at least, still doing a little bit of research, trying to learn some more about that stuff, but all right. Well, if you enjoyed our video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of our content coming up, give us a like, or go ahead and subscribe, and you won't miss anything we have coming up. So that's all we have for today. Thanks for watching. I'll go ahead and take some pictures, and we'll get them tagged on the end of the video.